Hey, Phil from Got Memories here, working on a mini DV to USB job right now. And like a lot of people, there is absolutely nothing written on these tapes. All of them had no information whatsoever. So they could be blank or they could have footage. Well, this customer stuff all has footage on it and how to put it in sequence. Because any reputable transfer company is doing all this data mining and figuring out so it's all correct versus the slop that's being digitized. And typically with companies, you get a barcode, 12, 13 digits long on the tape. And then you've got this directory with all these barcodes and you've got to decipher and go back to the tapes and look at the tiny barcodes, go, okay, this one's that one. Like that is just no. So what I do here at Got Memories, this is all one of the added benefits to going through me. And if you are choosing a transfer company, this is something you need to be looking out for. So this isn't a whole lot of extra work, but it makes a massive difference on the back end. So let's put the tape in here. Now I've already captured the footage here. Now, I've put the date stamp on the top, on the screen. Now, with mini DV, some formats, it's in the background. You've got to check to make sure it's correct because it's clearly Christmas Day. So, that's correct. That gives you an indication that the customer or you, if this is your home movies, has put this stuff, did the date correctly on the camera back in the day. Now, the problem with keeping the date stamp on mini DV specifically is it stays on the screen really big with the time and it's just kind of distracting. So what I do is I just give a little blip of it at the beginning and, and then that's that. And then the rest of the whole way through, there's nothing, it's just not distracting from the picture. But what I do, so there's a to and a from date range, is I go back where the last scene or frame was, and you put the date stamp. Oh God, look at this. The typical bars across the screen. I've got loads of videos on that on mini DV. So to get the date stamp up, you have to go through the menu, the function here, data code, and then the date, on, off, and it's off, and you go on, come on. And then you can see May 10th, 2008. So what I've done here is I've got a post-it note. So 12/25 to 5/10/08. And then as I compile the files, I change them and I put the code in there, just a number, and I put the dates in there. So when the customer or you, if you are deciding on who to choose, it'll all be date ranged right there. Now that is not all the time with all of the formats. Mini DV specifically, I do that if there's no information. But with VHS tapes, VHS-C, all of these different formats, they didn't always have the date stamp. Sometimes it'll pop up at the beginning and it disappears, which is kind of how it should be in a way, rather than it being like just burned onto a good 20-30% of the screen. And then, if there's any of that with nothing labeled, then I'll put a to and from date. Any information I can see on the screen, I put that into the file directory, which, is basics and people expect, but don't always get. So there's all these small things like boosting the audio, making sure, obviously the number one thing is clear picture and audio is coming through, which is getting harder to achieve, especially if you did not preserve, put the tapes in the house and sealed containers in the original cases, like all these preservation techniques, so to speak, which is just common sense. Don't leave them in a hot garage or a humid garage or in the attic or an unair conditioned storage unit, because all of these tapes are becoming more and more problematic as time goes on. And that's why every transfer company out there is just turning to shite, because the particles, the oxides coming off the tape, is clogging the video heads constantly. So, it's not able to read the data, especially with these digital formats, Digital 8, Mini DV. VHS-C has its own problems, VHS has its own problems. And, you know, if you are looking around, the only places that you're going to be handing them over to and make sure that they are very clear that they are going to be monitoring, supervising all of your video transfers as they're going. And once they're captured, checking them again to make sure everything is with clear picture and audio. If not, then you've got to go back and figure out why. And most of the time, it's because the video heads are dirty or worn. And that's why people are just getting absolute crap back or nothing at all, like Legacy Box, Southtree, Kodak Digitizing, worst offenders, all the same company. And people are getting all their videotapes back with stickers on them saying they can't transfer them due to heat, humidity, moisture, blah, blah, blah. There are elements of truth in that sometimes, but everything that I've experienced, they've played fine, like immediately, or with a little coercing or a little fiddling around, which you have to do sometimes to get them to play. So it is buyer beware. And as I say again and again in the videos, I don't care where you are in the world, who you choose, make sure they've got insanely good Google reviews via Google Maps, not google.com, because there's ads with fake graphics showing 5 stars. Hopefully a YouTube channel, you know, you can see the facility where all the work is done, the person doing it, you know, making sure that they're doing the work that's required to get clear picture and audio off of these. And then there's many different capture methods, resolutions, all this kind of stuff. And I don't do any of the up-resing, the 4K stuff. This is for usability factor, so reliability on my part with software and also using the, you know, players, and the file formats, the file sizes are easy to use, easy and quick to download, easy to import and edit with any editing software for consumer-based stuff. If you're looking for all of the up-res and the 4K and you're going down that rabbit hole, by all means, you know, go for it, but you're gonna have to pay for it a lot more. And also understand that the file sizes can be absolutely astronomical. And if you've got elderly parents or grandparents and you want to share it through the family, they're not going to be able to open a 1 terabyte file for a 2-hour up-resed video file, which really, yes, it can make a difference. But the main thing is clear picture and audio is having reliable players. And if you're doing this yourself, you're going to need 3 to 5 players. You're going to need to know how to clean the heads, take the things to pieces, or have a reliable person in your area that, you know, VCR repair person that is not on every street corner anymore. And, you know, so that's pretty much it. But if you are looking for all this up-res and doing it through, you know, all these different methods, honestly, do it yourself. You're going to save yourself a bunch of money, and you're going to have to get all of the hardware, all of the time involved. And it'll save you a boatload of money, and you're going to get it exactly how you want it. There's enough information on YouTube out there on how to do it. But if you're looking for like the everyman kind of just, you know, 640, 480 files that come through with clear picture and audio, plays perfectly fine on your phone, your iPad, smart TVs. Hell, I've done my own home movies this way, and they look great on an 80-inch TV on my wall, through streaming through YouTube private. It's more than suffice. But for the real sticklers out there that want to, you know, do all of the bells and whistles with their home movies, you know, my advice is, because there aren't many companies out there that do it really, because there's just no call for it. There's no price points that are reasonable, because it's an immense amount of time. But yeah, just do it yourself. But if you would like to get a quote through me, you can go to gotmemories.com. I do require photographs of the media nowadays, because I get stuff with mold, stuff that has not been stored correctly. There's dust, there's cat hairs, there's layers of human skin, mystery substances, dead fossilized insects, rat droppings, what else? I mean, just a combination of just gross stuff. So I like to see when people are telling me, oh, I've taken excellent care of my stuff. you need to take a picture with your phone and upload it through the form that I have on the homepage so I can zoom in and see, because I do check. Because if people aren't telling me the truth, I get it in, I'm like, this is gross, my hands are black. And, you know, case in point, you know, where are we here? You know, this here shows signs of not being stored correctly. All the bits here, this is moisture. Look at that in there, grime. You know, all this is deposits. And it tells me how well the tape has been preserved, and also that it's not going to become a virus in every single player, because that's why a lot of companies are not getting clear picture and audio off of their stuff, is because they're not pre-screening everybody. They're just treating everybody that's had their stuff done perfectly, you know, stored amazing. Like, these are really clean, nice. You go, I've taken great care of my stuff. Well, your stuff is going in the same players as the stuff that's been stored in a humid garage in Biloxi, Mississippi, and has been through 7 hurricanes, and it's covered in gunk. And then they put it in the player, transfers crap. Now your stuff goes in, transfers like crap. Well, yeah, because the video heads are clogged and the, you know, equipment's just knackered. The pinch rollers, like everything just gets buggered. And, you know, so I've got to be the gatekeeper of my equipment, because one bad job can contaminate every single one of my players. And it costs me $1,000, $1,500 to have Tim or my time to clean everything. So, you know, it's all about quality over quantity. So if you would like this done correctly, dialed in, I'm a resource. But if you are searching around, you're gonna need to know all of these little tiny quirky hidden corner questions for this type of service, because you're doing it once. Everyone thinks, oh, I'm gonna do this once and it's gonna be over with. A lot of people are doing this 2, 3, 4 times over, and just drama, you know, when you could have just spent $900, got it knocked out. Oh, well, there's a coupon on this thing for $370 they're doing it for. It's like, do you want to pay $900 or $1,270? That's the realities of all of this stuff now, because this industry is in a nosedive. Because all of this media was not made to last. It was not a part of the boardroom meetings when they were doing the R&D on all these different formats. It was all about just making things smaller, better quality in terms of visually and audibly, but not as a preservation type of media. Where are we going to be with this in 30 to 40 years time? They don't give a crap. They're just pushing out the next thing. Sell, sell, sell. So, you know, guys like us on the back end are now having to deal with all of this stuff, and also repeating the same script over and over again, where everyone's like, this guy's going to do it for $6. Ugh. No. Oh, this guy's like 18. Okay, give it to them. If they're checking all the boxes and they're doing all this extra work, my God, give them your stuff. But it isn't until it all goes, you get it back and you go, this doesn't look right. Oh, it's your tape. It's such an easy cop-out for these companies to blame the media, which is part true, you know, it could be the media, but it's just so easy. It's old, you didn't store it right. People think, oh, I guess it's my fault. No. Oh, well, and they throw their stuff away, or just don't even second guess it because nobody has a VCR or a camcorder or the cables or the power adapters or the cables to plug into a HDMI TV nowadays, because everything back in the old days was RCA, you know, like these cables right here. You know, so you look on the back of your modern TV, it does not have those inputs. Anyway, all the best to you out there. Cheers. Bye.